This is the time of year we give thanks and think about those things that bring us joy, happiness, and give us hope. For the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, this is the time of year they call their season of hope.
Tunnels to Towers has given me a lot more than just hope.
But you gave us hope when we had none. You shined some light at the end of a very dark tunnel.
During the next hour, you'll meet families of our first responders, soldiers, and veterans
This is gorgeous.
whose lives have been changed and truly understand the spirit of the season.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Janson, country music singer. Making music is my passion. It's what I love. It's what I've always done. Music has also given me the opportunity to show my passion and love for something that's super important to my heart. That is supporting our flag, supporting our veterans and our first responders. That's what this program's all about. It starts with an organization called Tunnel to Towers, and this time of year, they call their Season of Hope. Now let me tell you about Tunnel to Towers. The foundation was started after 9/11 by the Siller family in memory of their brother Stephen Siller, a New York City firefighter who died that day trying to save the lives of others. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation's mission is to provide mortgage-free homes to Gold Star and fallen first responder families with young children, and by building specially adapted smart homes for catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. Tunnel to Towers is also committed to eradicating veteran homelessness and helping America never forget the tragic day, September 11th, 2001. Tunnel to Towers does this work all year long, as they have for almost 25 years. It's pretty unbelievable. But during this time of year, they put it in overdrive, baby, to help even more families. Every weekday from Thanksgiving until New Year's Eve, Tunnel to Towers will deliver mortgage-free homes to deserving families. We're here at Dark Horse Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. As a singer and a songwriter, the studio is where I go to work a lot. But work is totally different for our first responders, police, and firefighters who keep our communities safe on a daily basis. When they go to work each day, they don't know what they're going to face. The pledge from Tunnel to Towers founder and CEO Frank Siller from day one has been this: if a firefighter or a police officer goes to work and they don't come home, Tunnel to Towers will take care of their family in full. They're going to pay off the mortgage so the family doesn't have to worry about the bills or where they're going to live.
My husband's name was Jason Arno. He was a firefighter for the Buffalo Fire Department. He was our superhero. He loved being a girl dad. It was his favorite job in the world. He loved helping people, and he just really loved being a fireman.
We're here to recognize the sacrifice of Sarah Tierney's husband, Jason Arno, who made the supreme sacrifice at a warehouse fire on Main Street here in Buffalo.
I'm a nurse, so I worked overnight, and luckily we caught each other in the morning, so I got to give him a kiss goodbye. And around 10, I got a knock on the door. It was a priest, and he had been in a fire that morning. We went to the scene. At that point, they had found him, and they wrapped him in the flag. And we drove to the hospital in the ambulance. That was that day. So I got a phone call one day from Frank Siller and gave me his sincere condolences and said that he was gonna buy us a house. When your whole world is turned upside down and you feel like there's no hope for anything, to have the stress of worrying about paying a mortgage taken off your plate is really incredible.
When a service member joins the military, they often leave behind a family member anxiously awaiting for them to come home. When they don't return, the family members are honored by the military with the distinction of being a Gold Star family. The loss can be both emotionally and financially devastating. For the wife and children of retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Michael Carduce, Tunnel to Towers made it their mission to ease this family's burden.
My name is Nicole Carduce, and my husband is Michael J. Carduce, and he served in the Air Force for 23 years. Mike just loved flying and mentoring people. Mike and I were living on Andrews Air Force Base when 9/11 happened, so we were just outside of DC. Honestly, that day changed the rest of our lives. Our whole world became very real. Mike was deployed twice. He went in 2004 to Qatar, and then he was in Afghanistan. He retired after 23 years in 2017. Mike came to me in March of 2022 and said, "Can you feel these lymph nodes?" And they were swollen. He wasn't sick. He never missed a day of work. Went to the doctor. He got a phone call that said, "You have lymphoma. You have an appointment next week at the oncology center. You're gonna need chemo. It's treatable." He died the next morning. After Mike died, they did an autopsy, and it has all been contributed to him being in Afghanistan. We have 6 kids. They all remind me of him in different ways, actually, and it's kind of beautiful. One of the biggest questions, especially my older kids asked, is, what if he volunteered to go if he would have known? And I tell my kids all the time, yes, your dad would have still volunteered to go if he had known. It's the man he is. I had a few people from our community actually reach out to me and tell me, "Nicole, we think you should contact Tunnel to Towers and see if they could help you." When I got the phone call from Tunnel to Towers saying that they were paying off my mortgage, I felt like I was seen. I was being taken care of. That my service mattered to somebody. As 9/11 becomes more and more distant, people forget that that has impacted our lives, and we are still losing family members because of it. So it truly was a validation that there are people who saw Mike's service, who still see Mike's service, who still see me and the kids.
This year alone, Tunnel to Towers is providing mortgage-free homes for more than 200 families. That's pretty incredible.
Coming up next, why this season of hope is so important to many of our veterans who have fallen on hard times and need a home and a fresh start.
The Medal of Honor is the highest military decoration awarded by the United States government. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation and the Congressional Medal of Honor Society recognizes valor beyond the call of duty. Brett Slabinski, a recipient of the Medal of Honor himself, sat down with fellow recipients to hear their stories from their military service to their transition into the veteran community.
It's nothing we won, right? We're pretty vocal on that, say, look, I didn't win anything, like we're a recipient of this.
You're gonna highlight me for a day where 4 guys got killed? Never crossed my mind about receiving the Medal of Honor, never.
I was told I was being put in for it the day after the battle. It's the highest level of valor, but you want to understand, why did these people lose their lives? Why aren't they in my place?
Can't refuse. You don't have to wear it if you don't want to. They feel you earned it.
People think war ends the moment you get home. No, war sticks with you.
For me, it was like I was in a fog, really, for several months.
You're literally on the edge of, right, life and death at any moment. And then 12 hours later, you're at home and you're going to birthday parties and you have to go back to assimilating that life.
It's fascinating how many of our brothers and sisters end up on the street. Tunnel to Towers is taking a leadership role in, specifically when I think about the veteran homeless population.
We as an organization, we have gaps, and that takes partnerships to come in and help us fill those gaps to ensure that nobody is left behind. And that's what Tunnel to Towers does.
We just recently gave them our Citizen Honors Award, recognizing all the great work that they have done.
It's fulfilling a promise to this nation, saying that Tunnel to Towers is going to give you smart homes, pay your mortgages.
There's no level of recognition that rises to what is being done on behalf of those Gold Star families.
And we're not forgetting you. Never forget.
Go to T2T.org and donate $11 a month. Thank you.
For the past 20 plus years, Frank Siller has gone all around the country raising awareness, support, and money for Tunnel to Towers. One thing that Frank noticed which bothered him a lot was how many veterans needed our help to find a place to call their own. Frank vowed, "These are our people who fought for us. Now we need to fight for them." That's pretty awesome. That's just what Frank and Tunnel to Towers are doing. T2T has come up with a unique way to provide homes for thousands of our veterans and turn their hardships into renewed hope.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation has made a promise to eradicate veteran homelessness across America.
As Mr. Stiller traveled the United States, he saw in all of the cities and towns that there was a tremendous amount of homeless veterans. And he said, we've got to do something about it.
What Frank also saw was an opportunity to take hotels that are either run down, near bankruptcy, or for sale, and transform them into a home for veterans.
This particular property, which used to be a Wyndham Hotel, got hit bad with COVID, and they just didn't have the business they used to have, which became an opportunity then for Tunnels to Towers to buy this place. We found what works. We find these hotel properties, we're able to convert them to beautiful apartments. We put kitchenettes in, where, as you can see, we've done a total remodel.
Wow, nice, very nice.
Some of the rooms were converted into permanent housing for the veterans. Others, temporary housing until they could move out to a place of their own. The Houston Village officially opened fittingly on Veterans Day 2023. Currently, there are about 120 residents here.
Welcome to my new home. I'm deeply appreciative of all these blessings.
Plenty of food here. And they new beds. I mean, it's nice and firm. I don't think I've ever slept so good. I don't want to get out of bed in the morning.
Oh, wow. Say this is definitely a lot more space, a lot more comfortable, and a lot more, you can make it your home.
Tunnel to Towers has also found sites and broken ground in 7 new veterans villages this year, in Memphis, Atlanta, Buffalo, Detroit, Denver, Charleston, and Bradenton, Florida.
We are setting up permanent supportive housing facilities in the largest metro areas throughout the nation for our veterans to call home.
But it's more than housing. T2T is building a community, a veterans village.
What better use than to build a veterans village where there used to be a hotel? Not only will they have a great place to live, but they'll also have 24/7 services right on site.
When someone volunteers on site, they earn vet bucks.
Those services will include job training, legal help, education assistance, and most important, counseling for addiction and PTSD.
Our focus is to make sure that they have all of the tools available to them so that they can kind of go through the steps and eventually find their way to independence.
And you won't have the pressures or the worries about where your next meal is coming from, whether you can have a roof over your head, whether you can get to a doctor's appointment. Tunnel to Towers has found the model in order to provide them with comfort and dignity as well as services. And we're going to be able to help so many more people.
In the parking lot adjacent to the main facility, T2T is building what they are calling comfort homes. The comfort homes give veterans a space of their own while continuing to have access to all the services offered at the village.
There will be a series of homes lining the site.
The comfort homes are 500 square foot each. They have a full-size ADA compliant bathroom, full-size kitchen. They're really beautiful little homes. By the time it's done, it'll be a true village.
How you doing? We having fun yet? Oh yeah.
John Crankshaw is one of the brave heroes who found a home at the Veterans Village here in Houston. John served at the Army National Guard, but the transition back to civilian life was difficult. Then he found Tunnel to Towers.
When I first come home, I was engaged in life, an active father. I went to church, I coached baseball, I was building houses for a large company, man. You can survive with PTSD and get by day, man, barely. But it takes one huge setback to trigger something and change your life forever. I went from being that hard-charging infantryman to messed up, angry, suicidal almost in nature. I lost control. I had a mental breakdown. Tunnels to Towers is the best thing that could ever happen. I came here with my dignity hanging in there by a string. Hope is something that you don't pay a lot of attention to till you have none at all. That's what Tunnels to Towers did for me, man. It gave me an opportunity. It hooked me up with the resources that I needed Hope was the first thing to come. My self-confidence and pride, can't tell you what that is for a man. To transform as much as I have since I've been here, man. I really wish you could have seen the guy that came here. I'll advocate for this program to the day I die, because it saved my life.
Since the program's inception, more than 10,000 veterans have been helped. Tunnel to Towers is committed to making sure no veteran is left behind.
We will not let any veteran sleep in a street in America. It is not right, and we will never let it happen.
As more of the veteran villages open, there are going to be even more success stories like John Crankshaw's to celebrate.
Coming up next, a story from the NFL about fathers and football and 9/11 that shows us winning isn't everything.
John was the most incredible person I'd ever met. Aviation was John's love and passion. When he was 8 years old, he went up for a ride in a Yak 52. And from that moment on, he was just completely infatuated with the idea of being a military pilot. He was present as a Marine and present as a dad, as a husband. He said, I want to be the best, I want to give my best, and that's what was important to him. It was a normal, ordinary Wednesday for us. When I was picking up my daughter from daycare, my friend that I would carpool with mentioned that there was an aircraft that went down. My friend said, I could drive you to the squadron. And I told her, I need you to take me home because if they're going to come tell me, they're coming to my door. In an instant, you know, your life does change. And you, especially having children, have to decide, how am I gonna do this? I got a message from a friend and they said, there's this foundation called Tunnel to Towers. And they said on TV that they're gonna pay for your and John's mortgage. And it just felt like a frozen moment in time that I'd never forget. I realized that the comfort I could find was to make him feel present everywhere we could. And I told Tunnel to Towers, I want to have a room that I can set up for my husband where my daughters can learn about him. I want a place that they can go as they're growing up and see their father everywhere. And they said, we understand this, we understand your need for it, we're going to do it for you. I'm so grateful for that.
By giving $11 a month, you're joining us on our mission to do good and take care of Gold Star families, catastrophically injured service members, and first responders. Go to T2T.org. It only takes $11 a month to make a positive impact.
We all watched in horror as the Twin Towers crumbled on 9/11. For one NFL coach, the horror turned to agony and hit very close to home. Legendary head coach Tom Coughlin was at the Jacksonville Jaguars training facility preparing for their game on Sunday. But as you'll see, his focus was somewhere else, on something much more important.
So about 8:30, I get a phone call from my daughter. And she says, Dad, do you know what's going on? Now I go from somebody totally unaware to eventually the puzzle's starting to come together. I have a son in that second tower.
Tim Coughlin, at that point, 29 years old, worked for Morgan Stanley, was in Tower 2.
He is located on the 60th floor of the second tower. And I don't know anything about anything because no one in my family can get a hold of my son. I can't get through, I can't get through, I can't get through.
I remember hearing that Tom Coughlin's son was unaccounted for. And that just kind of ripped my heart out.
And then we see the second tower take the hit.
For 45 minutes, Tom and his late wife did not know the fate of Tim.
I get him when he's on the first floor. I finally get him. And I'm saying, Tim, you all right? We're moving, Dad. And I'm trying to be as calm as I can, but Tim, you get as far away from there as you possibly can. Only by the grace of God, the Holy Spirit took my son by the hand and walked him out of there. But there are so many that that's not the outcome, and our hearts pour out to all of them.
Back at Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville prior the Jacksonville Jaguars are the Tennessee Titans' biggest rivals, and vice versa.
During those 3 hours and 15 minutes, it wasn't pretty.
You know, it was a fist fight with helmets on.
The meetings between Tom Coughlin and Jeff Fisher after any game, regardless of the outcome, were very brief.
Oh, it was a classic stick your hand out but turn your head away.
Yeah, very brief, professional.
Yeah, sorry, enjoy the ride home after that.
There was just no connection in any way, shape, or form.
The Jaguars win the toss, elected.
Our first game back was September 23rd, 2001, in Jacksonville, Florida, against the Jaguars.
It was game day, you know? It was game day.
It was more about, okay, we're here to help. Come embrace this thing that we do on Sundays and get your mind off it.
So the final score is 13-6 Jaguars.
Game was over, and I found Coach.
Jeff Fisher hugged Tom Coughlin.
I don't know if I was ready for it.
In that moment, there were two dads.
It was two fathers, yeah.
And he knew what I had gone through, thinking about what it would have been like for him. It wasn't a lot of verbiage. It was a hug. It was a hug. It was a hug that said, hey, I'm there for you. I'm compassionate about it.
Not that we'd lost perspective. We were competing together, and you know, that all those things are out. You know, they don't count anymore. You know, we know what really counts.
How's Tim doing today?
He's doing well. You know, he's done remarkably well with it. And every 9/11, I call, tell him how much I love him, and tell him that God saved him for a reason. And one of the reasons that I personally, and I know my son, has such unbelievable respect for the firemen, okay? Tim is on his way down in the second tower. They're going up.
Although our foundation was born out of tragedy, we know there is more goodness in this world than evil. And when we come together as Americans, we can be the conduits of this goodness.
I'm so thankful that organizations like this don't let us forget.
If we ever forget, we are, you know, I don't care how many years go by. You can't forget.
And I'm not alone. I'm speaking on behalf of Tunnel to Towers. We got to build more, and they can get bigger, and they can take care of more, because there's just so much need out there.
You're supposed to take each day as a gift. You're supposed to enjoy each day. You're supposed to, and boy, the day that I got my son back was a day that Judy and I, that was a good day.
Coach Coughlin has just been named a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There's no question that hug is a Hall of Fame moment. One World Trade Center in downtown Manhattan was built on the site where the Twin Towers once stood. Every year, more than 1,000 people climb the steps of the 1,776-foot skyscraper to remember all of those who perished on 9/11. Tunnel to Towers organizes the event and calls it The Climb. Well, a Nashville songwriter, Jessi Alexander, wrote a song also called The Climb. When you match the words of the song together with the pictures from the climb, you get something very memorable.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming.
Hi, I'm Jessi Alexander, singer-songwriter from Nashville, and I co-wrote The Climb.
Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction.
The song isn't even mine anymore. It feels like it's gone on to be so many other people's songs. Someone say, hey, that song got me through my last rounds of chemo. I ran the last mile. I'm so grateful that I have a song that makes people feel any ounce of strength, hope, you know, just to take that next step.
3, 2, 1.
2,226 steps in this building. I guarantee you this. There's at least 2,226 stories of heroism that day. We're here for all that. It's an honor and it's a duty to make sure we never forget it.
Climb for the fallen. The guys from my unit, the guys and girls I never met, and all the firefighters, Port Authority, and New York City police officers that were lost that day on 9/11.
I climb today for all of those that never got to come home. They never got a chance to climb back down on September 11th, 2001. And that's why I climb. That's why I climb every year.
My husband's dad was a Dallas police officer for many years. The family life of someone that has a first responder, someone's been in the military, someone that's trying to protect you, then goes down in the line of duty. They gave the ultimate sacrifice.
You might knock us down, but you will never keep us down. You don't weaken us, you make us stronger. You don't divide us, you bring us together. We are here, we are not going away, and we're gonna run up those stairs in the glory of all those people. God bless you and God bless America.
I'm honored that some little small piece of something I've done can go on and give a lot of support and relief to anyone making that climb.
Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction.
And I couldn't have done it without the support of my family and my son Josh, who did every step with me as well today.
Gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain, always gonna wanna make it move, always gonna be an uphill battle, sometimes I'm gonna have to lose.
I feel like Tunnel of Towers is my family away from my family. No matter what I need, when I need it, where I need it, I know that I have an extended family member from Tunnel of Towers that will make that happen for me.
It's the climb. Yeah. Oh, yes it is. You gotta keep on moving, climbing. You gotta keep the faith, baby.
Stay strong. Stay strong even when it's like you can't see how you're gonna make that next step, how you're gonna put one foot forward. Just know your own strength, because we are all so powerful and have way more strength inside of us than we can even imagine.
Jessi hopes to be at the top of One World Trade Center next year with her guitar to greet the thousands of warriors as they complete their climb.
Coming up, Tunnel to Towers has also found a way to bring not only hope, but joy to our veterans and first responders who have come home severely wounded.
Dave Portnoy is known as the founder of Barstool Sports and is known for his sharp commentary and down-to-earth one-bite pizza reviews. Dave created the Barstool Fund during COVID and raised $50 million to help small businesses stay afloat.
We have a South Beach on Staten Island too, by the way.
Probably a little bit different.
A little bit, just a little bit. It means a lot to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation that you've taken your time to help us.
It's a cause that resonates with our audience, for sure. Like, it really doesn't matter what your politics are. The military, these people are serving our country, and they need help.
These great heroes that are willing to risk it all for us, and our first responders go out every single day. I say, they give their kids a kiss goodbye, and how many times they don't come home. Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise, we're gonna help every single one of them in America.
The United States is so much better than every other country in the world, and the freedoms that people take for granted, and it would not happen without people who risk their lives for this country, and that's who you're supporting.
We ask for $11 a month.
$11, you have full pie, you're good to go. You skip one pie.
You skip one pie, and you help a hero and their family that are left behind.
Yep, and every dollar matters. What worked with the Barstool Fund? They knew they were giving us money, and the money was going right to the businesses they want to give the money to. I did all the research. I've known about you guys, and you checked out, by the way, against Staten Island, all the people. I can show you my phone right now, saying he's the only honest guy there is.
I want to hear what you rate the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Right, which is always high pressure when I'm sitting right next to the guy. It's like, but we'll give it 10, even though I don't generally give 10s. That's a rookie score. But we'll give it 10. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't a 10.
So let's do good together.
Let's do it. I'd like to ask you to contribute $11 a month by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
In addition to taking care of the families of the fallen first responders, Tunnel to Towers has made it their mission to help our brave service members who have been catastrophically injured. T2T builds custom-made, specially adapted, smart homes for injured service members and first responders, designed specifically to meet their needs. During this season of hope, we want to introduce you to two families who have experienced the joy of their brand new homes.
I'm a New Jersey State Trooper, Lisa Acker, and my husband is a New Jersey State Trooper, and his name is Sean Acker. Sean joined the Air Force to be part of something bigger and better. He was very proud to be in the Air Force. Sean joined the state police in 2005. Coming from helping your country to now helping your community, it was really a dream for Sean. On January 25th of 2022, after a surgery that was supposed to be minor, caused a clot that caused my husband to go into cardiac arrest and lose oxygen for 42 minutes. I never thought anything like this would happen. It's not something I think anyone can prepare for. Sean's been living in what they consider a long-term facility, and him being at the facility was great, but it's not home. There were days that went by where the kids don't get to be with their father. And that really is the hardest and biggest obstacle about him being at a facility. I received a phone call from Tunnel to Towers, and she told me she had heard about Sean's story, and we would like to pay your mortgage for you. We would like to bring Sean home and build you the new addition. It's like somebody calling you and telling you just won $1 million. It's like, wow, this foundation is really going to change our lives. The addition that they built, it is ADA modified. Everything has the wide hallways, the wider doorways. We now have an elevator lift, so Sean can also go down into the basement that Tunnel to Towers built for us. Now he has areas where he can sit with 2 or 3 of his close friends and watch this game, watch a movie with his kids. These one-on-one moments were taken away from all of us, and now Tunnel to Towers building this smart home edition is going to allow that again. So I think it's going to put Sean at a level of quality of life that I don't know if we ever would have been able to achieve without what Tunnel to Towers has done for us.
We love doing this kind of work. It's a promise that the foundation has made that we're going to take care of all these families that protect us when they give their body or their lives for our country or our community.
We gather here today in Picayune, Mississippi to welcome the Janson family into their brand new mortgage-free smart home.
I'm Kelly Sampson. My husband, Army National Guard Sergeant Carl Sampson, suffered a catastrophic injury in Iraq.
I was in the Marine Corps and the Army National Guard.
They were going to get the mail.
Yeah.
Got on the truck and they set off the bomb with a cell phone. Well, when Tunnel to Towers contacted us and said, yes, you're selected, I just ran in the room and said, we were accepted, you know, and, you know.
Thankful.
Yep. Tunnel to Towers built us a specially adapted smart home to make Carl more comfortable and independent.
Oh, man.
What you thinking, man?
This is gorgeous.
Carl and Kelly are going to be very happy in this house. These houses make all the difference in the world. Carl can stay home. He could have a little independence and dignity when she's gone. He'll be able to do things for himself.
That's important for him. He just loves that.
Yeah.
Sitting next to a man that voluntarily went back, but when was hurt, came home and put all his awards in a box called Joe. It broke my heart. And I said, no, we're going to show you that this is not true. People care. Every time he wakes up and sees this place, he'll know people care. Tunnel to Towers has helped us so much. You know, I don't think anybody could have done it better than Tunnel to Towers.
There is no greater feeling than seeing the faces of these family members as they tour their smart homes for the very first time. This year, hundreds of service members and first responders have regained a sense of independence and dignity thanks to Tunnel to Towers.
Coming up next, an amazing organization that improves the health and well-being of our military, veterans, and first responders.
My name is Dan Bristol. I am a volunteer race director for Tunnel to Towers in Hendersonville, Tennessee. I became a volunteer race director with them shortly after my son was killed in the line of duty as a way to pay it forward to help other people. He served in the military with the Navy, and then he served Hendersonville Police Department in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And my son was killed on December 30th, 2019. Frank Siller got involved, so they called our daughter-in-law at her house and had the whole family gather together there, and that's when Frank called in to let us know that the foundation was going to be paying off Spencer's mortgage. And again, I just can't tell you what a burden that lifted off of the shoulders of the family. Donate now at t2t.org. Let us do good.
I joined the Army in 2004. The later part of my military service, I operated as a civil affairs team leader within special operations. Our job was to effect change with the mission of defeating ISIS. We were doing a routine combat patrol where we were at one of the schools where girls had returned to school. We were getting ready to return home. ISIS saw that they were losing control, losing their grip on the people, that they targeted my team for like an assassination. An ISIS suicide bomber had squeezed his way into my team and detonated a suicide vest. It was a bad day. I had a total of 22 life-saving surgeries over 2 years that I spent in the hospital. We were worried. We didn't know how we were going to be able to pay for the house, how we were going to continue to pay our mortgage. That's when the Tunnel to Towers Foundation stepped in and said, we have a solution for your problem. We don't have to worry about packing up and moving somewhere else because Tunnel to Towers Foundation is going to help us make this our forever home.
I was very emotional and heartwarming to see Jonathan and his family come into their new home because they're going to be spending so many happy moments here in this beautiful home.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation didn't just provide me with a way to be independent in my own place, but they gave me hope. Hope for the future, knowledge that I can overcome these things, but I don't have to do it alone. Hello, I'm Major Jonathan Turnbull, United States Army retired. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation built me a smart home that will give me more independence and a better quality of life. I am asking you to donate $11 a month so that T2T can help others that were injured while protecting our great country. Please visit t2t.org or call 1-844-BRAVEST.
We wanted to take a moment and shine a light on an incredible organization making a real difference for our heroes among us. Guardian Revival is devoted to supporting those who have given so much in the line of duty, our first responders, our service members, and our veterans. Through innovative programs and unwavering commitment, they're helping these brave men and women find renewed purpose, health and wellness, and community.
Transition is really hard, and when you leave the military, you are leaving your identity and all that you were at one point, and that's very challenging for a lot of veterans. You also see that in the first responder world as well. These individuals are also struggling and deal with a lot through their career. I graduated from the Merchant Marine Academy in Long Island and then became a SEAL, deployed all over the world, and got out back in 2020. At one point, I was suicidal after I got out. It's just a series of bad experiences that I had. Messing up in the civilian world really led to a period of darkness for me that I didn't think I was going to be able to get out of. I was able to heal myself and revive myself to a place where I was ready to help others. The three flagship programs that we have at Guardian Revival are surrounded by three elements. One is music, two is dogs, and three is nature. Another summit is our therapeutic outdoor adventure program.
We know as people spend time outdoors, with their friends or their family or even by themselves, they typically see some benefits in their psychosocial health.
If you're physically healthy, that's one of the steps to take to get mentally healthy. Because if you feel good about yourself, you're gonna feel good. It's just, a great start to the day.
Boots and Paws, which is a canine and service dog program. When you leave the military, you're really stuck with limited options to actually have a meaningful purpose.
We have awarded 105 guardians with dogs. There's a lot of research that's gone into dogs and how they give people an increased sense of purpose. Those little puppy wiggles and dog kisses raise oxytocin levels, decrease stress levels. This gives them a purpose.
Our Encore program is our music program. Music is a powerful medicine, right? If you can think about like one of your favorite songs and the dopamine hit that you get from just playing that song on the radio and cranking it, you can't get that anywhere else. Learning to play an instrument, listening to music on a whole nother level can bring such stability in the rhythm of your life. We forget that life is just a rhythm, and sometimes we're out of step with that rhythm. So music can help you bring that back. Guardian Revival recently had the blessing of partnering with Tunnel to Towers and doing a lot more collaborative work with them, specifically in two areas. The first is their homeless veteran village expansion across the United States. Guardian Revival has partnered up in that capacity and is providing training and certifications for peer specialists in those villages to help complete the holistic wellness healing process that will happen in those villages. And the idea of peer support is very powerful. It's really all about connection. The early indicators of suicide tell us that people are disconnected, they're lonely, and they're isolated. So you can understand that being around people and being connected to a community is so important for our health. Another impressive program that Tunnel to Towers has is the Smart Home program. And our relationship with Tunnel to Towers in this aspect has been providing their recipients of the smart homes with peer support and an augmented community for them to connect with. I always like to say everything we do at Guardian Revival builds some capacity in the individual, because ultimately it's always up to the individual. There is a lot of work that needs to be done in this area, but knowing that an organization like Tunnel to Towers is now invested in this gives me great hope. I'm just grateful to be a part of this community that we've built, helping others.
What great work by Alex and the team at Guardian Revival.
Up next, a special performance by Chris Janson.
When you're in the military, you're really close with your brothers and your sisters that are in the military with you. And when you get out of the military, you kind of lose that until you find a new family.
We could talk about our struggles and the things that we did overseas. And not everybody can do that.
Adam, what's up? How's it going, brother?
We live pretty close to each other, so he's always coming over. And
when I go to Jack's house, we watch a lot of football, hang out, we go outside. The friendship has kind of grown into a family. I was overseas on a deployment. I got separated from my Marines and I got hit in the neck and it broke my neck and paralyzed me.
14 years ago, I was on a training mission, did a military free fall, and I had some faulty equipment. I hit the ground going 30 to 40 knots and was instantly paralyzed.
I met Jack Fanning when he invited us to Park City, Utah through his foundation. I was able to actually get on the mountain and ski with my family. I can't put into words what that meant.
I got paid in the military to do crazy fun stuff. And after my accident, I'm still that same guy. When I was able to jump out of a perfectly good helicopter at 10,000 feet, I did it.
I was talking to some vets last week, and it's amazing how we have these houses where they can come over because they're in chairs too.
Carpet and wheelchairs don't mix very well. Tunnel to Towers, they got rid of all that.
They redid my whole bathroom. That's probably the favorite part of my house.
I thought they were just going to do the upgrades, but A surprise to me was they paid off the entire mortgage.
When they told me they were gonna pay off my mortgage, I cried. Please contribute $11 a month by visiting t2t.org now.
Thanks so much for joining us today as we share with you Tunnel to Towers Season of Hope. We are grateful for the work that Tunnel to Towers is doing to help our first responders, our military, and our great veterans. And we're thankful to the many donors who make these programs possible. As you can see from the families we've met, there are plenty of reasons to be hopeful, but we must never forget those like Stephen Siller who made the ultimate sacrifice. Never forget is the promise of Tunnel to Towers. We've spent this hour honoring the heroes who sacrificed so much to protect and serve us, and there's no better way to end than with the song that celebrates living simply, giving freely, and appreciating every moment in life that truly matters. We wish you a happy holiday season full of hope.
You only get so many sunsets sinking outside your door. You only get so many memories till you can't make no more. Missing out on all that living is something that you can't afford. If you want to look back on a life you wouldn't take $1 million for. When's the last time you found 5 minutes crumpled up on the street? Or poured a little cash in the hourglass, bought you back 1 week? You can stack up the green down at the bank, but let me tell you, friend, you ain't as rich as you think when you're down to your last heartbeat. Time makes money look cheap. If a buddy calls, says he needs to talk, I'm listening. And if a kid grabs a pole, says he wants to go, we're fishing. And if he wants to dance, we're dancing. I ain't gonna miss the chance, man, 'cause you never know when your last chance might be. When's the last time you found 5 minutes crumpled up on the street? Or poured a little cash in the hourglass, bought you back 1 week? You can stack up the green down at the bank, but let me tell you, friend, you ain't as rich as you think when you're down to your last heartbeat. Time makes money look cheap. Time makes money look cheap. Yeah, time makes money look cheap. So get some wind in your sails and some beach sand on your feet. When's the last time you found 5 minutes crumpled up on the street? Or poured a little cash in the hourglass, bought you back 1 week? You can stack up the green down at the bank, but let me tell you, friend, you ain't as rich as you think when you're down to your last heartbeat. Time makes money look cheap. Yeah, time makes money look cheap. Yeah, time makes money look cheap.